curious how we get institutional adoption for XRP. Won't the banks use Ripple's stablecoin? In short answer, what I'll say is there's counterparty risk with Ripple. Banks and institutions don't want to make Ripple rich. They want to make themselves rich. They're going to issue their own stablecoins. They're not going to want to hold Ripple stablecoin. Smaller banks and, regional banks and some others might be willing to, leverage Ripple's infrastructure and utilize their tokens for different applications because they don't want to have to deal with the additional complexity, and they may not have the money to buy the treasuries to be able to issue their own stablecoins. Large scale institutions are absolutely going to issue their own stablecoins and do not want to work with Ripple in that capacity. But they need interoperability, and if somebody wants ROUSD on the other side of the transaction and JP Morgan wants to send them money, they need to be able to route that through a DEX, which is XRP. So XRP will absolutely be used. If it's not, then they're just going to have an exacerbation of Nostro Vostro accounts globally. Instead of $27 trillion locked up, you're going to have like 50 or 60 trillion locked up. The whole point is to unlock that capital, not lock up more. So banks don't want counterparty risk, and they also want to enrich themselves by holding the treasuries and issuing their own stablecoins. So no, unless they don't have the capability to do either of those things, or they want to work with Ripple because they don't have either of those things, then they're going to be doing it themselves, and they would just settle through XRP and not utilize ROUSD.